Yo, shout out to the jumpers and the basketball players, the athletes that are into jumping higher and being more explosive and like the idea of plyometrics. But as we've seen with the last two videos, there's some serious drawbacks to plyometric training in terms of short-term and long-term injury risks. Because when you take plyometric, you are training to take as much as force as fast as you can. Oh, that's a lot of what it is. You rebound, you're rebounding force, right? And that can make you really bouncy and you're jumping and you're running and sprinting and such. But those force loads can also compress your spine. Studies found that people are shorter after the depth jumps. Um, and all the other associations. Just saw a video with that. But this video is about how to try to make the most out of plyometric training without getting injured. And I think a great tool to help with that is training plyometrics in the pool. So think about in what ways plyometric benefits us, right? The timing so that we can apply more force so that we can explode more. But the same force that it makes us explode squishes our body and damages it in ways. So we want to train to be able to do this and then use it sparingly, right? Use it for performance, but not necessarily replicate it in practice over and over because that will certainly break the body down, but we still want to reap the rewards. So the idea with pool training is doing plyometrics in pools, and let me explain what I don't mean jumping into a pool and hitting the ground and springing back, but working on approaches and jumping in the pool. There's less gravity, right? There's compression and there's resistance from the water. So it's different in a lot of ways, but if you use it as a tool to work on your timing for hitting the ground and exploding, right? With 2 feet, you can work on 1 foot jumps, you can work on a variety of 2 foot jumps. You can learn the ability without necessarily exposing yourself to the dangers as much, right? So, I mean, I've seen a lot of pool training for explosion is pretty common for performance and recovery. So, I mean, a few guys on Instagram I've seen really preaching this. Andreas Schreiber is a really big pro player, is 36 to 40 inch vertical. PJF Performance is big on the pool training. He's got a huge following, and his stuff, people say it really works. And then you just see it, if Nate Robinson tears his ACL or whatever, he gets in the pool and starts running again that way because there's less. I mean, there's different kinds of stresses in the pool, but it's presumably lower impact because when you're landing, gravity turned off, right? So, yeah, so now that you use the plyometrics and you get better at timing for explosion, not necessarily wasting force, right? Becoming more efficient, we want to use this to jump, not to land necessarily, not from high landings, because you look at the numbers, you can punch out like 4 or 5 times your body weight on a real quick plyometric landing. Why do that, right? You can if you really jump that high, hang from the rim, climb down from the net, roll through it. Honestly, run through it. Run through it's really good too for 1 foot jumps. Slide through it like Dwayne Wade, But just get to the rim for the hang and get down. Get down. People won't look at you. So, I mean that's the way to do it, I think. And I feel this information can benefit the elite to the recreational athlete. Is how you use it really depends on the stakes in the long term and how you want to balance your performance versus your longevity, right? So that's something to think about. If you're into plyometrics, try them in the pool. See if you can get the same kind of benefits. Or if I'm totally wrong and there's plyometrics are not what I'm saying, then elaborate below because I would like to learn more as well. Other ways, if you're doing plyometrics on land, for example, definitely pay attention to the depth of the drop, right? Well, I played a Dwayne Wade video in the last video where he jumped off a massive drop. Don't do that. Look up. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Personally, I couldn't recommend anyone do that. Low drops. Because with a penultimate, a depth drop into a jump, it should be more of a jump than a drop. And that's training you for your penultimate step, your last step, you jump into your jump, kind of, but it's very difficult timing, and that's another. This is basically what plyometrics are helping with for jumping, I think. So yeah, that's my advice: is just consider the costs and then play it safe, and use it or don't use it. And if you use it, modify it in a way that you're going to get the most benefit with the least potential risk. So hope that helps, Pete. Peace. Much love. Let me know what you think in the comments.